We're live from the Henrico Sports and Events Center in Richmond, Virginia, welcoming all of you to some NWBA action here in the First Division in the Adults League, brought to you by Performax. Hello everybody, my name is Max Cates, and welcoming all of you to the game between the number 7 ranked Rancho Halos out of Downey, California, and the number 10 Courage Rolling Timberwolves out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. The winner of this game will be looking to advance between the Wassa Market Eagles and the number 15 Tuscan Lobos, which will be happening at Court 15 at 8 p.m., so you don't want to miss that one. The Rancho Halos will be looking to start off with their head coach, David Rodarte. He's decided to go with Bernardino Flores, Matthew Grashin, Hector Rivera, Eric Rodriguez, and Malcolm Wright. While Dan Price and his roster, he's going to start with Brendan Downs, Evan Thorne, Ian Lynch, Ben Kenyon, and Chandler White. The higher ranked seed will wear the lighter jerseys. That's the number 7 Rancho Halos. They're meeting now in the middle of the floor. It's Hector Rivera versus Evan Thorne, and we are underway. Our referees today are Yusuf Saman, Sarah Sowers, and Wyatt Morris. Off the turnover, here come the Timberwolves. And Canyon has it on the left side. A 3 just missed by Ben Kenyon. So a turnover against the Halos, and the Timberwolves take a 3 ball just to try and beat the shot clock. That one does not go in. As we have a big weekend ahead of us, as these are some of the best wheelchair basketball teams in the country, as a foul will be called on the floor. Chandler White getting called for his first personal. Teams first against the Timberwolves. Gershon Aaron pass got pressured, forced into the turnover. Here comes Downs all the way, gets fouled and hacked on the floor, and he converts the and-one opportunity. Hector Rivera comes crashing into him from his left side. Great adjustment by Brendan Downs. Receives the pass, and the contact's happening while the ball's in the air as he comes tumbling down, and he'll get 3 points the hard way. Short on the free throw. But the Rancho Halos, the Timberwolves are up and running to get it started. Flores the pass to Grashin. That one's off, and head coach Dan Price told me he's a guy that they want to keep an eye on. He's tall and he shoots well. So the spacing is going to be something to monitor towards the latter stages, as Thorne finds the rolling Ian Lynch for 2. Minnesota off a tremendous start. So far, they've gotten the cleanest looks you can ask for, and they've forced 2 turnovers as well. But the Rancho Halos will get into a rhythm at some point. Shot is up and missed. Here comes Downs in transition. Misses the right-handed layup. The Halos go for a play of their own, extra feed, and there's the bucket for Matthew Grashin. The Halos up on the board, 7:40 left to play in the first quarter. Both teams playing fast, and here comes the steal for Hector Rivera. Rivera wheeling down the middle. Here's Rodriguez, rattles that one home, and we're tied at 4. Referee blew the whistle momentarily. Malcolm Wright called for his first personal, team's first for the team out of Downey, California. So 3 total fouls already. We've only played a few minutes, so this could be a story heading into the later stages of the game. Let's see how many fouls each team could get as we average around a foul per minute on either side. Kenyon, nice feed. And there's the bucket. Ben Kenyon for 2. It's Evan Thorne, excuse me, cutting in for 2. Gresham off his own miss and puts it in. So right when the Timberwolves find a bucket, the Rancho Halos answer immediately with the 2 of their own, and they play fast. The ball finds right into Kenyon's hands for the Timberwolves in what could have been a Minnesota turnover. Nice hands by Hector Rivera intercepting the pass. But Minnesota will have possession. Full timeout for Minnesota. 6 minutes, 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's 6-6 apiece. Six is your score between the Rancho Halos and the Courage Rolling Timberwolves here in Richmond, Virginia. This is day 1 out of 3 for the adults first division as these teams are looking to climb the NWBA ladder for a spot in the championship. Aaron pass, intercepted by Bernardino Flores. And the Rancho Halos look to push out of the turnover. Rivera gets stopped by Downs, hands it off to Flores. He'll take. That's off the back iron, and here comes Minnesota. Downs with a right-handed scoop. Misses off glass, and the Rancho Halos look to pick up right where they started. Gresham down low, back to Rivera, momentarily intercepted. But there comes Malcolm Wright with the cleanup. A 3 is in. Matthew Gresham with a quick 7 points puts the Halos up by 3. White fails to answer. Rivera finds Gratian, has the height mismatch, and he'll go to the line. Matthew Gratian on fire to start the first quarter. Brendan Downs called for his first personal, team second. And there's Gratian shooting through contact, and he converts. .429 remaining, Halos by 5. Matthew Gratian could already have double digits. And he converts. 10 points for Matthew Gratian to start it up against the Timberwolves. 12-6 is your score. It's a momentarily 5-on-4 for the Timberwolves. Here's Kenyon. 6 seconds on the shot clock. The Timberwolves need to heave. Just short on the 3 ball by Kenyon. Rivera, full court dish. Gratian saves it, recovered by Wright. Referee Wyatt Morris making a quick whistle on a call. And it was about the ball being out of bounds. What would have thought would become a Gratian save. And you can see referee Wyatt Morris talking to Halos head coach David Rodarte. And instead it's going to be a technical foul. So Kenyon will knock down the free throw at the line. What could have been a scoring opportunity for the Halos ends up becoming a technical on the other end. 12-7 is your score, 3:34 remaining. Matthew Gratian, a phenomenal 10 points out of the team's 12 to open up the first quarter. Wright will take, rattles towards the other side. The ball goes out of bounds into the scorer's table, and the Wolves will have it. Rancho Halos, they do play fast, and they've had close games against this Minnesota team, and what makes them tough is that they're tall as well. So this Minnesota team needs to dig deep and find creative ways to get the victory. But it's been close between these two teams, so I wouldn't doubt it if it became another one. Shot is just missed by Thorne. Rancho Halos basketball. This is the 4th game on court 16. Dallas Wheelchair Mavs beat the LA Hot Wheels in the first game. The WWAR Generals beat the number 4 Golden State Road Warriors in the second one, as that's a full court heave intercepted by Wright. It'll be Minnesota basketball out of bounds. And the MedStar NRH Punishers, the number 6 ranked team, beat number 11 New Mexico 66ers. And the NRH Punishers will be facing against the number 3 ranked Charlotte Roland Hornets later today. Difficult layup taken by Evan Thorne as he falls on the ground, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Hector Rivera, download aggression. Can't be stopped. Matthew Gresham, a dozen to start up the first quarter. He's having himself quite the opening day here in Richmond. 14-7 is your score, 2:20 remaining in the first quarter. Thorne has to heave. Misses off the back iron. They go to Gresham again. Misses too strong. Kenyon the rebound. Here's Thorne. And finds a cutting Chandler White to his left for two. 5-point Halos lead. A minute and a half left to play in the first quarter. This Rivera to Gresham combo has been detrimental, as here's Malcolm Wright rolling down the middle for the score. And the Rancho Halos applying the full court press. Thorne has it on the other side. Thorne just swarmed by two gray jerseys, has to do something with it. Thorne. That was Kenyon, short on the shot. Thorne had the rebound. As there you see the replay, Minnesota with excellent transition work, finding White for two. That's your most recent score for the Timberwolves. Gresham, open. Hit one earlier, this time air ball. Shot clock turned off, 27.2 remaining in the first quarter. Timberwolves down by 7. Here's Downs, dishes it down low. Here's Ben Canyon. Well defended by the Rancho Halos. Thorne with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And Minnesota have 2.4 seconds to draw something up. They got to space the floor for these last opportunities. Can't risk getting a clogged paint with that little time left. Get the most open man you can get. So the clock will be going back to 3.1. Doesn't look like anybody touched it, so it's just going to be reset back under the Rancho Halos basket. 3.1 for the Timberwolves to get a bucket. Will they run the same thing? They find Thorne. Here's Kenyon to beat the buzzer. Got it! But the referees blew a whistle, no shot. So we're about to see the exclamation why. It looks like he beat the shot clock in time, but whether or not when the ball was inbounded, somebody may have tipped it. Kenyon had the launch, and there you go. He beat it in time. It's a 3-point basket as Minnesota down by 4 heading into the second quarter. NWBA action brought to you by Performax.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found my outlet through basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now Performax is our new M16.
Our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, You're unstoppable.
NWBA action brought to you by Markle, who congratulates our community of champions and is proud to sponsor the 2025 Adult and Junior Division Wheelchair Basketball National Tournament. Committing to put people first is what helps us all win together. Timberwolves down by 4, a buzzer beater 3 for Ben Canyon. Saved what could have been a 7-point deficit, now is a 4-point Minnesota Timberwolves deficit. The Rancho Halos with a strong start, or I should say, Matthew Grashin's start. He sits at 12 points. Eric Rodriguez and Malcolm Wright each have 2 apiece. Assistant coach John Allen for the Timberwolves told me that Hector Rivera is one of the most underrated players on this team because he is such a tall point guard and puts Grashin in all these successful places to get buckets. And he sure has done that as Kenyon, well defended by Stitz. Grashin surrounded by 2 black jerseys. Grashin gets it back from Flores, puts it in. Matthew Grashin is on fire to start off the game. 14 out of the team's 18 points, and we have just started the second quarter as Thorne answers for Minnesota immediately on the other end. This game sure doesn't lack energy. Back and forth action, non-stop speed from both of these teams. As Rivera spinning out of bounds, and it's Minnesota basketball. Ian Lynch, who started the game, checks in. Sarah Binsfeld will now sit on the bench. All starters are in for Minnesota. Here comes Thorne. Leans back, rattles it home. Evan Thorne with a really good start, leading all Timberwolves scores with 6. Halos only up by 2. Hector Rivera wasting no time and almost gets an assist. Flores with the offensive rebound, but he got caught camping in the paint. 3-second violation. Thorne will take and make. Evan Thorne back-to-back buckets. 18-18 is your score. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The Timberwolves, down by as much as 7, which was the largest lead of the game, have now tied it up. Grashin too strong on the shot. A whistle will be called on the floor as Brendan Downs took a spill. Hector Rivera, second personal foul, first team foul. As the Rancho Halos will call a full timeout. NWBA action brought to you by Able Now, who is proud to sponsor this NWBA championship. Give your savings a tax-free advantage that won't impact certain disability benefits. Visit ablenow.com and learn more. NWBA action brought to you by Performax, bringing you many years of excellent, durable wheelchairs for your athletes of the present and the future. All tied up at $7.22 apiece. Halos were by as much as 7 before a Bend Canyon 3-ball ended the first quarter, which put them down by as much as 4. And now the Timberwolves have clawed their way back with 7:22 left in the second quarter. Now it's 18-18. And it's been a defensive effort as well as a team effort on sharing the ball on the offensive side of the floor. Both teams break huddle, and we're going to be back underway. Hector Rivera, the point guard for this Rancho Halos team, has 2 personal fouls. So if you're the Timberwolves, you may try and force him to get his 3rd, which could lead to huge problems for playmaking down the line for the Rancho Halos. Total fouls is relatively even among both of these teams, as here's Thorne, well contested, intercepted by the Rancho Halos, but the Timberwolves get it back. Lynch will take and make on the other end. Ian Lynch now with his 4th point of the game gives the Timberwolves a 2-point lead. 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Gratian loses handle of the ball. Taken back by Stitz, back to Gratian.
33 checking in for 10.
Money as Gratian sits now at 16 points. 20-20 is your score. Eric Rodriguez waiting to check in for the team out of Downey, California. Oh, nice feed down low. Beautiful finish by Chandler White. And that's that playmaking the Timberwolves have been doing to rally and come back, and now they've snatched their lead again. Gratian again, puts it in again. Matthew Gratian putting on a clinic on how to score the ball. He has the team's 18 out of 22 points. They got to do something to stop him, but he's so lengthy, so tall. You can try and contest him, but you can only hope to contain him at this point. Thorne down low to Downs, extra feed. The shot is short by Kenyon. Stitz fails to convert the opportunity under the basket. And all by himself is Brendan Downs, looking to play slow. Downs, the no-look feed. Kenyon failed to anticipate it, but it's recovered by White. Thorne a 3. Misses from deep. Ben Canyon called for his first personal, team's first for Minnesota. Multiple substitutions on deck for the Rancho Halos. Jonathan Garcia and Eric Rodriguez now checking in. Eric Rodriguez started the game, but this is Jonathan Garcia's first minutes. 4:44 left to play here in the second quarter. A back and forth action between the Rancho Halos and the Timberwolves, brought to you by Performex. This Gratian and Rivera combo has been causing havoc for the Timberwolves defense. Gratian gets it back, fails to convert, but here comes Rivera with the offensive rebound. That pass just zips past both of the hands of Gratian like a field goal. Here you see the replay. Kenyon down low to White. Drew 2 defenders. And White says, I will oblige. A quick timeout will be called on the floor. 22-22 is your score. 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Brought to you by Performax.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found my outlet through wheelchair basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now Formax is our new M16.
It's our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, you're unstoppable.
(22-22) is your score. 4 minutes remaining in this rainy day here in Richmond, Virginia. I've asked some of the local residents on what to do around the area. And this woman told me, if it wasn't raining, go take a nice hike down the river. I will do so. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. The Timberwolves move it beautifully as Lynch gets rewarded with a trip to the foul line. Matthew Grashin called for his first personal, now team second here in the second quarter. And this Minnesota team sure knows a thing or two about selflessness as they share the ball so well, which has been causing problems for this Rancho Halos defense. Lynch knocks down the first free throw, now sits at 5 points. Minnesota also a very nice place to visit as Ian Lynch 2 for 2 from the line, now sits at 6 points. Timberwolves by 2. A little bit less than 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
Eric.
Malcolm Wright receives a screen. Here's Gresham. The Rancho Halos will get the basketball. Another thing that is so difficult to guard about Gresham is his shooting form. He kind of launches it behind his shoulder, similar to what we saw from Larry Bird. It's so tough to contest. And because he's the tallest player on the floor, you can only hope to block it.
Back.
Rolling back and a difficult shot by Evan Thorne. Sits at 10 points for the Timberwolves. How did he make that one? Rolling back a 13-footer along the baseline and swished it. Rancho Halos, off of multiple offensive rebounds, finally get one to go. It's Eric Rodriguez. Now the Timberwolves only up by 2. What was once a fast-paced game has now slowed down to a halt. All 10 players on the floor look exhausted, but the playmaking doesn't stop for the Timberwolves. Nothing but the bucket for number 4, Ben Canyon. Timberwolves still have their firm lead. A high arcer. Missed by Rodriguez. Splitting the double is Downs. Down the middle, finds Lynch. Off the window. Ian Lynch now sits at 8 points. And this Minnesota offense is torching the Halos with their speed and passing alone. Referee Wyatt Morris blowing a whistle under the basket. As there you see the playmaking by Downs. Finds Lynch for two. Brendan Downs, his second personal, called for holding. Second Minnesota team foul. As they have a 6-point lead with a minute 17 remaining in the second quarter. Gratian off his own miss, puts it in. Matthew Gratian, 20 out of the team's 26 points. As the Rancho Halos are down by 4. He shot it from the left side, got his own offensive rebound, and just parks right under that right block. And he has been unconscious from the field. A minute remaining. Halos down by 4. Rivera short on the 3 ball. Gratian took his hands off of it, knew it was off a Minnesota player. 43.8 remaining. Gratian will heave, puts it in. Matthew Gratian, all the chambers are opened. 23 points, 30 seconds remaining before halftime. Timberwolves only up by 1. Kenyon gets hounded. What a pass by Downs. Down low for Chandler White. Answers immediately. What a sequence. 8 seconds left. Rivera misses down left. And that will do it for the end of the first half. An electric half to start off this game. But before we go to the break, look at this deep 3 by Gratian. Knocks that one down. 1 possession separating between the Timberwolves and the Halos. It's NWBA action. Brought to you by Performax here in Richmond, Virginia.
Performax signed me when I was 16 years old, before I accomplished anything in this sport. They were the first ones who believed in my capabilities, and I'll never be able to repay them for what they've given me. Not only from a product side of it, they believed in my potential before I even did. This is my way of giving back to their organization and their grassroots program that they're putting together here at DK's 3-on-3. It's just something I'm honored to be a part of. It's starting to get to that time where it's my turn to give back. If that means helping kids get to college, that's something I'd be interested in. If it's helping a D3 kid work really hard to get up to the championship level, that's something I'd be interested in. It's getting to the point where championships, gold medals, that's becoming less of a priority, but to give back to the sport that has given me everything in my life, if I have the opportunity to do that, I'm going to take advantage of it.
An electric first half, to say the least, between the number 7 ranked Rancho Halos out of Downey, California, and the number 10 Courage Rolling Timberwolves out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Timberwolves with a 3-point lead, 32-29. But to say the least, it's been fireworks from both sides. Flores missing under the basket. Ball is tipped right in the hands of Thorne. Dishes it to White, who looks to reset. Halos coach Rodarte told me as that shot rattles out by Kenyon, as a ball will be tasseled for. Head coach David Rodarte for the Halos told me, we want to make sure that we're not as aggressive on the defensive end so they can't slice us up on offense, because this Minnesota playmaking has been so dangerous for this Halos defense. They have multiple scores, they have more assists, and it's forced this Halos defense to kind of play a game of cat and mouse. They're chasing this Timberwolves offense, which is what you don't want to do as a part of the defense. As NWBA action brought to you by Eagle Sports Chairs, where they build custom wheelchairs, an official sponsor of the NWBA. Out of all the games I've covered so far, starting at 8 a.m. till this point, this game for sure has the most pace. It seems like neither team knows how to switch from 6th to 5th gear, like there's no break. But when it stalls, we've seen some excellent shot making, and there's the bucket. Evan Thorne now sitting at a dozen. Rodriguez wheels all the way to the basket uncontested and scores the difficult shot. Timberwolves now by 3.
Get back, get back, get back. Own player, own player, own player.
Whistle will be called on the floor by Wyatt Morris. No call yet, as there you see nice ball movement, right to left action, and the nice touch by Evan Thorne. Kenyon down low, there's White, fails to convert. They launch it forward, and the Halos regain it. Almost got stolen by Downs, and it's recovered by the Timberwolves. Evan Thorne yet again sitting at 14 points of the game. That was Gratian, excuse me. Now he sits at 25. Kenyon off the shot fake, looking for options. Gets double teamed. Outmaneuvers both of the defenders, but couldn't get the finish. Rancho Halos moving the ball. Pass is too strong from Wright to Rivera as the ball goes right out of bounds. 7:26 remaining. Timberwolves by 1. Kenyon to Lynch to White. Flores corrals the rebound, looking to push. Flores will take. Flores will make. Bernardino Flores now joins the scoring column. 6:46 remaining in this third quarter. A back and forth action between the Halos and the Timberwolves. Both of these teams leaving everything out on the floor. Ball gets tipped by Gratian. White hits the... Downs hits the deck. And that's a Minnesota turnover. Excellent hand-eye coordination by Gratian to force the steal. Here's see Flores taking his time, using the nice screen set by Rivera, and gets the space. Rivera downloader right behind the head. Gratian with the finish. What a play by Malcolm Wright with some improvisation with the pass. Behind the back. Couldn't finish. What are we watching? Such passing from both teams. Here comes Gratian down the other end. Minnesota will have a chance to answer. Lynch down the middle. White tried to fight Downs, but White's wheel was out of bounds. So it's going to be Rancho Halos basketball. Here you see the play behind the head, and there's the finish.
I got 6 players on the floor. Here it comes.
Sarah Binsfeld checking in for Minnesota. She's played a few minutes here in the first half. And the Rancho Halos look to go to their 2-man game, and that's money. Yet again, Rivera to Gratian, who now sits at 29 points. Halos regain their lead. They're up by 5. 5 minutes remaining in the third. Downs went for the Statue of Liberty shot. Corrals off the side of the backboard. Last goes off the wheel of Hector Rivera. There's almost nothing you can do to contest that shot. And that's 2 defenders on him as well. When 1 isn't enough, 2 isn't enough, you better hope 3 is. Binsfeld. Here's Kenyon, and that's a shot clock violation. Evan Thorne had it towards the end of the shot clock, and this Rancho's Halos defense making a statement here in the third quarter. Now Evan Thorne getting called for his first personal. Team's first here in the third quarter. First team foul by either Minnesota or Rancho Halos. As Thorne may have caught an elbow to the nose by Eric Rodriguez. Halos to inbound. Gratian has it. Here's Flores. Down low, back to Gratian, who puts it in. 31 points for Matthew Gratian, who can't be stopped under the low block, from the mid-range, or from 3. Halos by 7. The Timberwolves offense has gone stagnant since the opening minutes of the third. They nearly turn it over. Saved by Thorne. Downs down low. The shot is missed by White. And the Rancho Halos look to keep the momentum pushing here in the third quarter. Rivera calls for the cut. Missed by Rodriguez. Downs recovers it. Stolen immediately by Gratian. Read the passing lane. Downs got a hand on it. Rivera recovers it. Flores has it. 9 seconds left on the shot clock, and he puts it in. Bernardino Flores, 4 points, all of them coming here in the third quarter. 2 huge makes to give the Halos their 9-point lead. 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. This team from California are hunting for the championship, and their defense is a huge part as to why they want to reach the quarterfinals. Flores says, I'll just take this one. Shows the follow through as well with 6 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Flores again, puts it in again. Bernardino Flores, back-to-back buckets for Rancho Halos is number 1. And that has given them their largest lead of the game. Malcolm Wright called for his second personal, team's first here in the third quarter. Matthew Flores, back-to-back buckets. Rancho Halos by 11. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Kenyon down low, and he scores. Benjamin Kenyon's his first bucket here in the second half. Sits now at 8 total points. 2 minutes left here in the third. The Rancho Halos move the basketball. The shot is way up and missed by Rodriguez. Here's White, extra feed, in and out by Kenyon. And that just summarizes the third quarter for the Timberwolves. They have rarely scored here in the third, while the Rancho Halos are in full pursuit, missed by Flores. Kenyon to Downs, readjusts, fails to score on the other end. 1:20 left. Halos up by 9. Their largest lead was 11. Gresham fails to convert. The Timberwolves look to move. Here comes Kenyon. Guarded one-on-one by Flores. Uses the White screen. Rivera switches on him. Nice dish down low. A tough angle. And the finish for Ben Kenyon, who now sits at 10. The Rancho Halos need a quick timeout. A lead that was up by as much as 11, cut down to 7. As we'll look at the quick replay. Klinkner checking in. And there he finds Kenyon, who had to extend all the way back to his chair. And he puts it in. NWBA action also brought to you by Molten USA. A special thank you to Molten USA, the official basketball of the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. 39 seconds remaining. Halos up 45-38. It's become such a back and forth game between both of these teams heading into halftime. It was as much as a tied ball game. And the Rancho Halos have been in firm control with 38 remaining here in the third quarter. Matthew Gresham, 32 out of the Halos, his 45 points. Went absolutely nuclear in the first half, had 23 points, and gave them the business everywhere on the floor. Gresham again! Matthew Gresham, 34 points. The only one who can stop him is the man he looks into the mirror. Rivera has it for the Halos. Dishes it down low. Here's Rodriguez failing to convert. Wright saves it to Flores, can't put it in. Rivera has it for the Halos though. 10 seconds left before the end of the third. Flores puts it in. Bernardino Flores, 8 points alone here in the third quarter, has given the Halos their largest lead of the game. 12-point Rancho Halos lead, beating the buzzer. And we will be back with 10 more minutes of NWBA action, brought to you by Performax.
Today we're at Performax here with Matt Bullock. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you were injured, how long ago, and how adaptive sports has, kind of helped you in your rehabilitation?
I got hurt lifting weights in college at Ottawa. I was doing step-ups and 315 pounds and stepping up on a box, and it just slipped one day, came down on my butt, and actually pinched my spinal cord at T11, T12. And I thought that was the end, honestly. If it wasn't for basketball, I wouldn't be in the adaptive sports world. Meeting all the people that not only play basketball, but do other things has led me to countless adventures around here. When I was at Mizzou, I played basketball, obviously, but I needed a capstone internship to graduate.
Alliance is honored to support Sportable and the National Wheelchair Basketball Association Championship. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association Championship, as we're excited to see the event in our hometown. Here comes the Rancho Halos on the other end. Offensive rebound missed by Rivera. Gets it again this time. Hector Rivera has yet to score in this game, but he's done everything else as the lead point guard of this team. Halos with a 14-point lead. If you can't do it once, you can do it twice. A three is up, almost rattled in by Ben Kenyon. 9 minutes remaining. Halos by 14. Foul will now be called on the floor against Evan Thorne. His second personal, team's first here in the fourth quarter. The foul so far yet to this point has looked absolutely identical. Both teams had 2 fouls in the first, 2 fouls in the second, 1 foul in the third. And as it stands now with the first foul against the Timberwolves, 1 for them and neither for the Rancho Halos. And here's the bucket. Malcolm Wright for 2. The Halos running away with this one. They had a mission at the start of the third quarter, and it's been working to perfection. Downs to White, extra feed, missed by Lynch. Offensive rebound, and it's swiped away by Gresham. Thorne will take, misses the deep 2. Flores gets it back from Rodriguez. Fails to convert his offensive rebound. This Rancho Halos defense has been making it difficult for Minnesota, but not for long. Minnesota get a nice bucket by Ian Lynch, who now sits at double figures. The third Minnesota player to do so. He's together with Ben Kenyon and Evan Thorne. momentarily stopped a large run for the Rancho Halos, which we're going to need to see perfect execution for the Timberwolves. 7:40 left to play. Halos by 14. Their largest lead was as much as 16. And it's a far cry from what you saw in the first half. We were all tied up. And here comes Matthew Grashin. So far with 12 second half points, 34 in total. Evan Thorne off the side iron. Here comes Hector Rivera. Dirigating traffic, finds Gresham, just polos it with one hand. Matthew Gresham, 36 points of the evening. 16-point Halos lead, 7 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. There's only so much you can wonder on how to stop this man once he gets to the spot that he desires. Lynch fails to answer for Minnesota. Rivera takes a spill trying to save it. He didn't even touch it. And Naro Perez now checking in for the Rancho Halos. Malcolm Wright taking a quick seat, as that's going to be a relatively quick timeout. It's a full timeout for the matter. 56-40 lead for the Halos. A little bit less than 7 minutes remaining. NWBA action brought to you by Performex.
What would you say to that freshly injured veteran looking to get involved in adaptive sports?
I found an outlet through wheelchair basketball.
A lot of us are used to, having weapons in the military. Now Formax is our new M16.
It's our new battle buddy. Once they find a chair that suits them, anything's possible.
When you understand the ins and outs of a chair or your weapon, you're unstoppable.
NWBA action, proudly sponsored by Lee Enterprises Virginia. The Richmond Times-Dispatch and Virginia Video Network are proud to support the NWBA Championship and excited to welcome you all to Richmond. My name is Max Cates, honored to broadcast all of you the NWBA Division I Championships, the adult division, so it's D1, D2, and D3. And immediately, right after the timeout, a foul will be called against Minnesota. Ian Lynch called for his first personal, second team foul. Rivera, nice touch pass by Grashin. It's just the fact that Eric Rodriguez didn't expect it. And it would have worked to perfection had he caught it. White in tight coverage. Too short on the shot. Rancho Halos basketball. Rodriguez dish to Grashin as he gets taken down. A hard foul taken by Ben Canyon. Whether or not that's going to be a common foul or not, that's a foul regardless. the Rancho Halos players want to call it for unsportsmanlike. Play resumes, though. It's just called a common foul. Flores down low, reverse taken by Perez, almost got it in.
5:30.
Rivera fails to convert under and finally puts it in. Hector Rivera hasn't scored the ball a lot, sits at 4 points. But my goodness, he knows how to pass, he knows how to rebound, and knows how to make the right play when it matters. 18-point Halos lead. Some other scores on other courts. Cavaliers versus Outlaws. Outlaws lead by 3, 55-52 on court 11. There's some other close games nearby. It's the Hawks as well as the Kings, 56-49 on court 9. 60-40 Halos lead. 5 minutes remaining. Winner advances to the quarterfinals. And this is going to be a statement game from the Rancho Halos if they pull out the win. From the start they had, as it was even matched between these two, to dominating the second half. Here's Flores. Can't put it in. They just found a way to turn up the pressure, both on offense and on defense, forced the Timberwolves to take these shots that they weren't comfortable with. Other than that, they failed to just convert alone in the third quarter. While the Halos, they just stuck by their game and ran the same offense as they normally do, and it's led by this man, Hector Rivera. Dishes it down low, and there's the bucket for Eric Rodriguez. Largest lead of the game is now 22, and if the Halos keep doing this, this will increase by a small margin, as we have 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Kenyon will take the three. Misses off the left wing. Rebound taken by Perez. The Rancho Halos will take a quick 30-second timeout to put in the rest of their bench players. Rancho Halos up 62-40, as this is a quick substitute timeout. Both teams now clearing the benches. Wouldn't hurt to get some nice national championship experience here in Richmond, Virginia. NWBA action sponsored by How I Roll Sports, who is proud to be the official maintenance partner of the NWBA Championship Series. Always here when you need us, supplying you with the best adaptive sports equipment for over a decade. That's how we roll. Ezekiel Ramuzzi checking in for the Rancho Halos, as well as Jonathan Garcia. Those are some of your newer additions in this ball game. We remember Jonathan Garcia had some minutes earlier in this ball game. He's now getting some nice tick. Steven Eichen checking in for Minnesota. Sarah Binsfeld is with him, as well as Derek Klinkner.
Go, Zeke! Go, John! Go, Neto!
Rivera gets fouled by Klinkner on the shot, so he'll go to the foul line. Derek Klinkner, his first personal. in what's been a phenomenal Rancho Halos win, as they could be a severe underdog against the top teams in the NWBA. They could give a lot of top-seeded teams a lot of problems despite being the 7th seed. They are a team to watch out for. They have this two-headed monster, Hector Rivera, who has more than double-digit assists. I know it's not on the stat sheet, but you'll see it somewhere. And he just makes the right plays every time, sets up the players beautifully, as well as Matthew Gratian, 36 points. Went nuclear in the first half with 23. In any coverage, any shot he took was as comfortable as they came. Thorne will take, misses from the wing, rebound taken down by Ramuzzi. Ramuzzi dishes it down low, and here's Alexander Stitz with his first bucket of the national championship in 2025. Way to open your account, Alexander, in Richmond, as that will likely be some of the finishing touches for this Rancho Halos victory. Thorne, beautiful feed. And there's the bucket by Eichen. If you want some more NWBA action here on this same court, we won't disappoint you. We have the Dallas Wheelchair Mavericks squaring off against the New York Rolling Knicks at 6 p.m. And at 8 p.m. on this court, it's going to be the MedStar NRH Punishers against the Charlotte Rolling Hornets. Those are going to be your two final games on this same court. There's a dish. There's Eichen, right position, gets the two. Thorne knocks it in after what's been a phenomenal game, leading all Minnesota scorers with 14 points. And that will do it. The team from Downey, California, the number 7 ranked Rancho Halos, defeat the Minnesota Courage Rolling Timberwolves 65-44 as they advance to the next round. My name is Max Cates. Thank you so much for tuning in here in Richmond, Virginia, but don't go anywhere. We still have 2 more games left of action